Paul, do we actually have you here? Kathy, are you still there? I'm not sure what happened to Paul. He was here and then he's gone.
Yeah, I did see that. I couldn't tell you, as you may have guessed, I'm not real good at anything electronic.
No, it's okay. I'm just, I thought there was going to be 4 of us and then there was 3 of us and now there's only 2. So I'm not really sure how to get this started with just you.
Well, I declare that we all go home and go to bed.
Hey, there's Paul. He's trying again. So we'll give him another second to see if he can get successfully in this. If not, I guess you're going to be the chair of this little subcommittee for Preservation Month planning on account of being the only one here. So
gonna have a real hard time setting things up. Go, Paul, go.
I was gonna say, it doesn't look like he's having any luck. May try.
And I don't have his phone number. I don't know if you can text him or.
I was gonna say, you may have to try calling in.
Yeah.
I'll shoot him an email real quick. Okay, wait. Maybe he is in right when I sent that email. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, then you're magic, clearly.
Maybe not. All right. Well, clearly Paul's here in ghost form. Soraya, is there anything in particular we need to do to get this started?
First of all, hi, sorry. Since this, it doesn't look like we have a motion or we're going to be approving anything. I don't think we need a quorum.
No, we shouldn't need a quorum.
Can you guys hear me?
We can. Welcome.
Oh, good. Okay, sorry. I couldn't get any of the computers to dial in, so I'm on my phone.
Well, we're glad
That's
you
a
made
last
it.
resort. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, yeah, sorry, there's no motions or no quorum needed. I just didn't know if there was anything official that needs to be done to kick this meeting off. No.
For this meeting, is Paul the chair?
Yeah, I guess Paul is the chair for right now, only because Jim and Kent aren't here.
Okay. Right on. Well, let's get going.
Sorry, Paul.
There was an agenda.
There was. It's pretty informal, but.
So Elizabeth, I'll turn it over to you. I don't have the agenda.
I
pulled
have
up.
marked Kathy Beckenhauser and Paul Felicity present.
Mhm.
Roll call is done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Soraya.
Okay, so I did find an agenda.
Yep, I'm
So
pulling
we
it up
did roll
right
call.
now.
Yeah.
Is there any public or public comments? Okay, so hearing none, we can move on from there, I think. We'll go directly into new business, which is topic of today's meeting is Preservation Month celebrations and planning. And now, Elizabeth, if you have anything you'd like to jump in on.
Yeah, this meeting is going to be pretty quick, probably pretty informal, as this is, my first preservation month here. We're still somewhat COVID impacted here, so we need to figure out what preservation month looks like within the kind of confines of COVID, assuming we're not going to be having a proper preservation awards ceremony. Perhaps looking to do something virtual via everyone's favorite platform on Zoom, finding some way to get at least some acknowledgement if we do want to go with preservation awards again, which I would like to see happen since they didn't last year. Other than that, there's a lot of going to have to be relying on y'all's guidance since you've done a preservation month or two here. This would have been better if we had the whole group of 4 here to talk, but we'll make do with the members we have. But yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with this here in Missoula. I don't know what the preservation month planning typically looks like. I tried to find what I could of Emmys. It was really quite scarce and not terribly detailed. So got ideas to try to pick up where y'all had talked about last year, getting some of our tours created into actual self-guided tours, since ongoing guided tours is going to be probably problematic. And then something like the Moon Randolph Homestead tour, I would like to see us maybe try to coordinate something with them to get some more people up there. But other than that, I am happy to hear whatever ideas y'all might have, what you might want to do. And then I thought we might pull up the award criteria that we had from previous years, take a look at them and see if y'all think they still look good, if we need to make any changes to them. I don't know. That's me. That's what I've got. So.
I think reviewing the award criteria would be pretty important. Paul, do you remember, have we handed out all the awards that we had nominated for? Are we behind on anything?
I think that, well, we have the Heritage Award and then the Preservation Award. Those are the 2 kind of categories that were developed, with the Heritage Award being business related awards. And then the Preservation Awards being architecture, preservation related, kind of bricks and mortar type awards. Those are the 2 that I remember. And where we're at, I couldn't say. I agree. We haven't. It seems like it's been maybe 2019 since the last time we did it.
Yeah, that was at Karis, I think was our last big one.
I
think we did.
So I was going to say that I believe the awards did go out to the last round of awardees, but there wasn't a celebration because of COVID. But I do believe that staff made sure that those awards and the decals and all that went out to the recipients. So I think we're caught up on that front. I think we just unfortunately kind of have to expect that this year's award ceremony is going to be pretty non-personal and kept distanced. So we need to try to figure out what that might look like if that's something we want to do at all. We don't have to do a proper award ceremony. There's other ways that we can get recognition out and make sure that the businesses that are selected or impacted are made aware and that they get the positive press that comes with it without doing an actual award ceremony. So these are just things that we're going to have to think about. And especially as we get closer, it's hard to plan with COVID because we don't want to book a venue and then not be able to use it. And you don't want to wait till the last minute to book a venue for obvious cost related reasons. So kind of just figuring out what that looks like. I'll go ahead and share the screen really quick I'll probably share the screen if it'll actually work. Y'all see the award descriptions and criteria?
Yeah,
Are you seeing both of my screens or just the one?
I see 2 pages.
Okay, 2 pages, but not a folder. Okay, so these are the categories and the descriptions that Emmy left for me. And so this is something that I figured we would, for the most part, keep pretty intact, make minor changes here and there as sees fit, which of course I can send this out to you so y'all can take the time take the time and review it for sure. But I just wanted to remind y'all that this is the document we're working with. It should be somewhat familiar to you because it has been included in almost every folder for this. So I think that we need to find a way to do these awards again. I think we need to figure out what that looks like in our current climate. And that was something that, again, we might need the bigger group, all 4 of us, or all 4 of y'all and me together to start kind of visualizing what we want to see for this May. But we also need to figure out, aside from this, some of the more programmatic efforts we might make for Preservation Month. Tours are great. I would need help to the extent that y'all are able to help make some of these actually come to fruition between now and May. But I have a lot of good ideas, and I have a women's history tour in the works that I would like to see possibly be ready to roll out by May. And then, yeah, that's it for me. Now, if y'all have any ideas.
I know in the past we've done the geology tour, but again, then we're starting to talk about getting people together, and any of the downtown tours. I think what we're going to run into is partially getting people together, and then partially, if we're all masked up, it's going to be really hard to hear. So I don't know. Is there something that we can do online? And that is not my forte. I'm just asking. Or what other ideas do we have to celebrate Preservation Month? I mean, we've traditionally relied on tours and our award ceremony.
So tours, I mean, it takes time and it takes effort, but we can certainly get them translated to a digital version on story maps. I can do the technical side of these things. Sometimes it's something where we got held up for a bit with wanting to do the AJ Gibson tour into a digital format is that these are all tours that have been remarkably led by people who just hold this knowledge in their heads. There's no files or information for me to turn to be able to translate this into a digital tour. I would love to see that be a possibility just outside of Preservation Month anyway, for accessibility purposes.
Yeah.
And then, you know, some of the other things that people have brought up would be taking some of Emmy's pop-up exhibits that she did and turning those also into digital exhibits. So there's a lot of ways for us to up our digital and our online presence through this month, but it's just trying to figure out kind of what actual, even if they're remote events, what events we might do. So I know the Downtown Missoula Partnership mentioned possibly hosting, throughout the warmer months, there are some heritage talks or history talks, trying to see if we could partner with them to get one of those or maybe 2 of those coordinated in the month of May. Could be really something that people enjoy and that you could do from a remote place and safety, or you could try, if possible, to set it up in a hybrid environment. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming with y'all.
So we do work right next door to the Forest Service History Museum, and they are technically nonprofit, so not a full part of the Forest Service. But I did talk to them also, and they would be interested in hosting something.
Okay.
That's all that we left it at, and I can always walk over there and talk to Lisa Tate about it. And they do have their new museum space. It's being built in fits and starts. It's out beyond the airport. And so they've got the ranger station out there. They've got our lookout. And they're working on their exhibits. But that could be something that we do with the amount of Forest Service history in this area, just as a part.
Yeah, I think that sounds great. I would love to
Okay.
Yeah.
come up with something that we can coordinate with them with. Is there a way that you can help make an introduction between me and
Oh, yeah.
Lisa? Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I'll do that this afternoon. I'll shoot an email to both of you.
So then the third thing that I was wondering about that maybe we could roll into this is that bus stop light, or is that already accounted for?
I'm going to think that's somebody in the background at Paul's office.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that is.
No,
yeah.
that's okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't
Just
missing
echoing.
somebody.
You know, I was thinking it's like, just in terms of things we kind of talked about internally here, is like, wouldn't it be, again, maybe this is post-COVID, but this idea that partnering with, say, the Roxy, and do a movie night where we show preservation-related movies. And if you Google that on the National Trust website, there are movies that they have identified as, you know, preservation related in some way. But with the idea the Forest Service Museum and Forest Service history, there are movies that were made in Missoula.
Red Skies over Montana,
Right. And it'd be like,
which
oh,
the
you
last
know,
time I
to
saw
work-
was over at the Roxy.
Right, to work with them in some way that you do this, you know, integrate that in to an event. You know, maybe it's not one night, but maybe it's, you know, maybe they could rotate it through the month. They have different showings, so it's not everybody has to show up at once. I know.
Yeah, that would be a great idea.
I kind of like the idea of focusing on a theme like the Forest Service. Maybe it's a little bit narrow, thinking, you know, forward and like where would we go next year. But at the same time, it's like if that's an opportunity that, and we haven't, that I recall, we haven't focused on the Forest Service as a, you know, as a means of recognizing them and their legacy in our community and participation in the community. You know, maybe that's a means to get to provide them a Forest Service an award, a legacy award. I don't know. That might be something too.
Well, we do have a couple historic buildings, and then, you know, we've got the preservation team. And we've got all the lookouts and whatnot. And there is a display at the Fort Missoula Museum right now, and it's Forest Service Communications. And so they've got a number of items from our shop in there. And that's ongoing right now. So we could tie all that together.
And we could also, in theory, create some sort of, even if it's just a really small map that connects people to all the sites around Missoula that have things connected to the Forest Service history. That could be relatively easy to throw together if it's not already something the Forest Service has put together.
I'd have to talk to a couple of people and see what we've got. I'm sure we have something. Might shed some focus on a couple of our underused historic buildings. which would make me really happy.
I would do it with the AD.
Yeah, I think the theme is it's a good idea, and especially for somebody like myself who's new at getting into some of this. I really like that idea of having some sort of thematic focus.
Well, and if we wanted to do a thematic focus of maybe large scale employers, for lack of a better term, how long has Providence St. Patrick been in Missoula?
I was actually.
Because,
Go ahead.
oh, no, and I just was thinking about that because they've got that building that we're going to be reviewing tonight. But they've been here for a really long time. And I don't know what other large employers have been in Missoula their whole career. The railroad, the hospitals, the Forest Service, post office.
Yeah. City
do-
county government.
I do want to clarify that we won't actually be reviewing that HPP at the hearing tonight.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. That's just for anyone who might be, tuning into this later.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah, so kind of looking at those, again, not to oversimplify the word, but the legacy kind of industries that built Missoula, if you will.
Yeah.
In Missoula. University of Montana.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the Providence has been around since 1873, so just a bit due for a legacy award possibility there. If we wait till next year, they'll be at what, 150? So that's a
Well, we can still at least recognize them, and then
that's just a big one to remember when next year rolls around.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think this is a good start. Obviously, the other folks will probably have their own ideas and input too. I know we'll have to give a brief update about our meeting here at the actual commission meeting tonight. So would one of y'all be willing to provide a brief overview of that? Mr. Paul, our temporary chair of the subcommittee, you're being pointed at via screen here.
Sure. Yeah, no problem.
And the next time we have the four of y'all all in one meeting, we can determine an actual chair for the subcommittee. So you might not be on the hook forever, Paul, just.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I like the idea. I mean, I think it's wise to think of Preservation Month as accounting for COVID. And I think that should be, I think it's wise to think that way. And at the same time, there is a segment of the population who's able and willing to participate on a different level, but I think it's kind of, we have to look at it as both ends. Have both the remote ability to participate and the in-person ability to participate.
One advantage of focusing on large legacy employers is that their buildings can be driven by. So if we, for example, and I'm just going to use the Forest Service because I'm familiar with it, if we send them out to the fort and say, hey, this is the Forest Service, they have these buildings, here's a map online, here's the other things, the university people can walk around, both the hospital people can drive by. So there might be some advantages with that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think as well, it might, prompt all three of those entities to kind of pull together some sort of summary, maybe we reach out to them and like, what has your 150 years been like? Provide us a summary of what, both your legacy here in Missoula and what that contribution has been. Because we could post that on a website or something that the public has access to. What's the city of Missoula's website? Is it Engage Missoula?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, sounds good, thank you.
Okay.
That's all I've got,
there any-
unless y'all have more.
Not at the moment, but this gives us something to think about.
Yeah. I like it.
What's
Okay.
next? What's next on the agenda?
Establish our next meeting.
Well, I tell you what, I don't want to send another doodle poll to y'all because I get results way too late to actually use the dates. So I think
Yeah.
that we should just establish one now, and hopefully Jim and Kent will be able to make it.
Yeah.
And I can send them
I will be unavailable the 14th to the 25th.
That's okay, because I'm unavailable the 11th through the 18th. So we've got some overlap there.
Okay.
We could try to schedule another one for late next week, like next Thursday, if we felt we needed that one that soon. Otherwise, we would have to either not have Kathy present and do it the week of the 21st, or wait until the first week of March. But I feel like that's kind of
Let's
starting.
go for. How about if we try and go for next Thursday?
Kathy, would that work
I-
for you?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. I will send out, I will have to send out a doodle poll to get a list of times that work best for y'all, but I'll make sure to make it clear that we got to do this quick. And then hopefully we'll have a meeting time that I can set up for us by Friday, because we are kind of getting in that 1 week period. So we'll get that set up, and then if you think of anything else, let me know. If not, Paul, on to the
Okay.
next item on the agenda.
Next item is the ever popular adjournment.
What did you say?
I said the ever popular adjournment. Topic of
Oh,
adjournment.
sorry.
Kathy's favorite part, and she almost missed it. And she almost missed it.
I will see you again at 6 o'clock then.
All right.
Sounds
Thanks, y'all.
good. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.